The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. How you doing, my X and Y listeners? As promised, I will have more and more interviews, from different people, and with the hope of hearing someone else's point of view other than mine, a different way of looking at things, even though my opinion is correct all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I want you to hear other people and other perspectives and what they've gone through and actually done different things. And I want you to get different points of view from different people. So this is part of it, like I promised before, from your emails and your letters, that I have more interviews with people with different opinions and so forth to make the show a little better and, keep things up and up. So with that being said, I have a great guest tonight. She's an ex-NFL wife, and she's very intelligent. I met her through one of my social media venues. I believe it was LinkedIn. And she is an entrepreneur. She's also a writer, established author, and a motivational speaker. And welcome, my X and Y listeners, Angela Marshall. How you doing?
Hey, X and Y listeners. I am very happy and elated and honored to be on your show. Thank you so much, Roosevelt, for the opportunity and consideration to share and just hopefully impart some very good knowledge and wisdom to your listeners. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming. And I think that we would definitely have a great time. I want to talk about this. Well, this show, I really want to focus towards the women, well, and the men too, but the women, I want to give women.
Yeah, we can't leave the men out, Roosevelt.
No, because, I'm always getting accused. I try to do X and Y, but a lot of times I leave an X out or leave an Y out. So I'm trying to be even, but, I really want to, for other women who are gone through what you have gone through already, maybe this segment can kind of help them get through what they're going through, and I'm not saying that everyone is an ex-NFL wife, but, there's also similar scenarios that everyone can learn from. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. I often say that the only issue at that time, because remember, I am a former NFL wife, so I'm not living in that lifestyle any longer. But being an NFL wife, the only issue that was not an issue was money, because you didn't really have to figure out how to pay your bills. You know that there was a good salary coming in, and that was just not one of our problems, but every other problem was. So, yes, I think that anything that we speak about, that we converse about tonight, it can be utilized, not just from a female perspective, from a male perspective, too, because I know you guys go through some stuff, too.
Right.
Y'all try to hold it in. Y'all hold it in, but y'all go through some stuff, too. And that's one of the things that I actually realized with my ex. My ex-husband and I we're cordial. now we communicate, quite a bit. We have two amazing children and some grandchildren, so we communicate on a kind of on an often basis. But he's like shared a lot of stuff with me that he was going through that I had no idea. So yeah, I think that anything that we talk about tonight, your X and Y listeners will definitely benefit from it. I'm just ready to just dive in there. So give me that first question.
All right, let's dive in. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. Like, where you from, your family? Where did you grow up?
Okay. I am an Augusta, Georgia native. Of course, most of you Floridians will probably know that that is the home of the Masters. Of course, there's a lot of other great things out here in Augusta as well. But I grew up in Augusta, Georgia. I am an only child.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was raised by spoiled. I know. Yep. I've heard it all. And it's true. So I was raised by my grandparents in a very loving home with my aunts and uncles and quite a few cousins around constantly. So I had a very, very good family, close-knit family upbringing, like, that good back in the day family setting.
Oh.
Where you had the Sunday dinners and you went to church and, you had picnics, you had family reunions, all of that. So that's how I grew up. I grew up in mainly an African-American environment and it was a little challenging from time to time. Not that it was less loving. I've gotten some emails about that. One interview that I did some time ago, someone was offended, because I mentioned being brought up in being light-skinned in African-American environment. But I say that as easily as African-Americans can say, they feel like they were bullied because of their skin tone or their color or because they're too dark or they didn't get the part for this or that. Well, I mean, everybody has issues when it comes to complexion and ethnicity, in my opinion. And, I'm just giving my perspective on it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that I was, like the stepchild treated like the Cinderella story, because that's the furthest thing from the truth. I knew I was loved by my family, and I still know that I'm loved by my family. So that's not an issue. But the truth of the matter is that I was, a little different from the schools that I went to, just with the church that I went to and still attend, which is my home church right now. Let me send that shout out to Mount Calvary Baptist Church, because I know some of them are listening as I'm broadcasting on my Facebook. Shout out to Mount Calvary, that made me great. And but yeah, so I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and with my grandparents, who created and made a very, very solid and great foundation for me, and it is a large part of the woman that I am today.
Okay, all right. Now I want to ask: are you mixed, or you have a white family? I'm curious because the way you emphasized, I grew up on my black side with a black family. It makes me think that the other side would maybe have been white. Is that the case?
Well, I'll just put it to you this way. I think we all got a little something in us, right? We all got a 1 drop or 2 drop of something in us. But yes, so yes, I am. I am quite a few ethnicities, but I am a proud African American. That's for sure. Just light in color.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. I caught that, and I wanted to, dig a little deeper in that response. So that's why I asked that. Now, right. I read one of your segments that you said that being fair-skinned caused you a lot of problems growing up. Like you were too light for the blacks and not light enough for the whites. How did you deal with that?
Well, I think that all of us have major issues when it comes to self-esteem or identity issues from time to time, whether it's hair or skin complexion, I don't know, whatever. But basically for me, I had 2 sets of friends that I based that particular article on that you're speaking of when I was in middle school. And it was very challenging because, one side would make me feel bad for talking to the other side, and the other side didn't necessarily understood how I connected with the other side. And so it was always like a constant battle, or that's how I felt. I felt torn in between the both. And I couldn't really understand why we all just couldn't, in the words of Rodney King, just get along. But it was a little challenging. It was difficult from time to time because, of course, I think the stigma with society is that if you are of lighter or fairer skin, that you are better or that you think you're better. And so with that being said, quite a few of my darker skinned friends from time to time, whenever there was an issue, the majority of the words that would come out would be, you're not better than me just because you're light skinned with long hair. And, we'd have those conversations kind of back and forth as middle schoolers or elementary schoolers or children that are just growing up, trying to figure out who they are and what they are and why they are. It wasn't anything in particular that I was trying to focus on, or light or black, or my light, my white friends or Caucasian friends versus, my black friends, saying one group was better than the other. Not at all. Cause I learned from both sides, and I'm just, that person that really wants to be judged, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, by the content of my character. What type of person am I? It shouldn't matter my complexion or hair texture or eye color or weight or whatever else. It should just be, what type of person is Angela? So that was the whole premise of that article. I know sometimes when we make articles about a black or a white or whatever, that's like the first thing people see, and they pick up on that, and then they just kind of roll and run with it, which, I'm a writer, so I know how to use words so that I can grab your attention and make you read my stuff and read my articles. And I knew that by titling that, too black for white and I think I said too dark for light or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but I knew that would get the attention of many people. So yes, sir. That's what that article is all about.
Okay. Great. Sounds good. So, it definitely got my attention. And, because I think you talked a little bit about, my experiences when I was at college, and how the light skin, it was almost like Spike Lee's movie, School Days. I think he was calling them jigaboos. That was the one, the darker people, and the wannabes were the fair skinned people. And I was, I didn't see that, I was just watching a good movie, but I didn't see that until I actually attended Tuskegee. And then I saw exactly what Spike was talking about. I mean, he hit it on the nail. So, I didn't go through that, but I can definitely understand what you're saying.
Yes. The light skin, dark skin, I don't know, drama, I guess, if you would. That's just been since, I'm not going to necessarily say it since the beginning of time, because I can't, make that a fact, but it's been in our culture and in our society for a long time. I do know that. But one thing I want to do, and I'm on a global mission, not just for this particular reason. I got several things, but, basically, I just want people to embrace who they are, and also, to just not be in competition or feel that, you're not good enough, or you can't be great enough because you are light, or you are dark, or lighter than someone, or darker than someone. You just embrace who you are, embrace your greatness, embrace your purpose, your position, and your power, and don't worry about the other person. Period. Right. I think it's a shame when people do hold you to a certain standard and they feel like you're calmer, or you're better, or you are a better fit just because of your skin complexion, or, your hair texture, whatever. I just think that, whoever's the best person for the job or the event, or whatever, that's the person that should get it. Now, with that being said, did I get offered some roles because of my complexion and different things? Absolutely. Absolutely. Snow White was white, I guess, Caucasian back in the day. So, a couple of productions that I was in, I got the opportunity to do that. I'm not saying that I was better than the other people that tried out for it. I probably wasn't, to be honest, but I looked more the part. Yeah, I'm just being honest. I looked more the part at that particular time. And, it is,
It is what it is.
it's sad that society, has us in that mindset, which is why I'm working so hard just to be transparent and truthful about my journey, my childhood, my marriage, my divorce, after divorce, everything, just to kind of put that conversation on the table and, just let people know that I have insecurities and I have flaws and issues too. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying because I heard a lot of actors in Hollywood always talking about that. Darker actors and actresses always talking about, being looked over in a lot of roles because of their darker skin in comparison to the lighter black actors and actresses. So that's
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a fact. Yeah, I'm sure that's a fact.
Like you said, that's unfortunate, but that is reality. That it seems like everyone does that, even in our own community. So
we do, but we're the worst with it, and that's the thing. I really believe that until we change it, we change the dynamics of how we speak and what we say and how we think. Right. It's going to continue. That's why, and I'm just going to jump in there. I know you didn't ask me this question, but even with my hair texture, one thing that I've been on a mission, because I'm really trying to help our young girls, and I'm trying to help their self-esteem, and I'm trying to help build and boost them up for what they need, how they need to really be seen. And, one of the things when people talk about, oh, you just have good hair, I'm like, no, it's not good hair. It's just a different texture hair. Wear it, have products that make it manageable, but it's not good hair because see, when you use your words and you say that's good, then that implies that something is bad. And so in my opinion, our girls, our young girls are looking at this, or they're hearing somebody say, oh, well, she has good hair, and, and they're thinking they have bad hair. And that could perpetuate jealousy, envy, and then just make them feel less than. And I detest that. I really, really do. It's always made me feel uncomfortable, even as, a young child and growing up. That's always been like an elephant in the room for me. And so I knew that was going to be one of the things that I would bring to the forefront, when I was thrust into this life, as far as like being able to talk about the story and life of an ex-NFL wife, because that's a part of it. That's a part of my journey.
Now, I know that you mentioned that you like to help young ladies, and I want to mention that you were a single mother, correct?
Well, I was a divorced mother. So my ex and I, we were married in 93 and we divorced in 99. Even though I met him in high school, we dated a little bit through high school, through his college years, and then got married once he went into the NFL in 1993. Well, actually, he entered in 1992, but we got married in 93. But I guess you could say I felt like a single mom, because when you're divorced and you become the custodial parent, a lot is on you. And there were a lot of things on me at that particular time. He helped, I guess, to the best of his ability, but for the most part, the finances, everything from dealing with the children emotionally, mentally, and physically, I felt like a single parent, but actually I was just a divorced parent.
Well, let's just go ahead and jump to the NFL life. Now, skipping forward to when you were with your ex, I know many women will kill for that experience, to be in that lifestyle, the money, the fame, the status, and I was listening a couple of weeks ago to Steph Curry's wife talk on the round table with Jada Pinkett, I think. And
the red table. Yeah.
That she still she said a lot of things actually, but one of the main things she said she still wants attention. She wanted to be noticed, not as just Steph Curry's wife. She wanted to be herself.
Well, let me interject really quickly because some people jumped on her for saying that, and then other people
I
understood.
Yeah, I
so
understood.
Okay, right, because because I was a part of that lifestyle, it's like you become the invisible woman. So you don't have a name, you are so and so's wife, and that's it. That's usually how you're addressed. Nobody really cares about what you think, or the most that they care about when we're in that role, in my opinion, this is my perspective, is what you're wearing and how you look. That's it. Every other conversation that they're having with you about your husband or about your boyfriend or about that celebrity, not about you. So I think when she says she wants attention, for me, how I processed it was just being noticed as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a contributor to society, as a citizen, because we really do fade to black. And people don't necessarily see us. Now, they see us if we walk out the house looking like a hot mess.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they judge and all this other kind of stuff. But when it comes to seeing us for who we truly are, which, we're taking care of the family, we're taking care of that man who you're idolizing, which I don't idolize anybody. Let me just put that out there. But, we're taking care of him so that he can get out there, he can perform, and he can entertain to the best of his ability for the fans. And, and then you have wives, you have girlfriends that are very talented. They're very educated. And so I believe that in what she said and how she said it, it was more or less like, hey, I'm an individual and I have a life. I'm just as great as he is. It's just that his name are in lights. And more people know, right? More people know his name, but I'm great too. So I get it. I understand exactly how she felt. I talk about it in my book, The Story and Life of an Ex-NFL Wife. I talk about how I went from the invisible woman to now I'm the invincible woman. So that's the difference. Yeah, you can quote me on that one.
Yeah. I just thought that was important because, like you said, a lot of people were jumping on her, and I was like, why are they jumping on her? I'm not a woman, obviously, but I understand exactly what she was saying. So I don't know. I just think people just a lot of times running. Right.
Want drama. They want drama, and they want anything. They want to bring out anything that's negative. Just like with my book, is the exact same way where people are saying that I'm a gold digger and I'm, trying to make a living off of Arthur's once career and, some other things. I mean, people are entitled to their opinions, and that's why I don't dispute or I don't try to validate or give an explanation, because I can't give an explanation for something as far as like how they feel that's wrong. So I don't even waste my energy. That's like seconds and minutes of my day gone if I'm entertaining foolishness. I'm not gonna do it.
Exactly. And that's exactly the attitude you should take. So, but unfortunately everyone is not that strong-minded, and they let external influences get in the middle of their marriage. And I think that's a lot of problems, not only in celebrity marriages or athletic marriages, but just day-to-day marriages,
Right. Well, it's just society in general.
Right.
It's not even about a relationship or, if you think about it, a relationship or a partnership. It's just in general. People just want to make you feel less than. And if you let them, they will accomplish it. And so, that's when you have to summon that inner strength and really know who you are and define who you are for yourself. And it's not about a society telling me my hair needs to look this way, my shirt needs to be this, my shoes need to be that, my bags need to be this design or whatever. I could care less about any of that stuff. I've said it many, many times, and I'll repeat it until I take my last breath. Regardless of any label, any designer, Angela Marshall is awesome. I'm amazing. I'm strong. I am, I'm a positive person. I'm a good person. So, and those labels don't make any of those things for me. Actually, I'm just buying them just because, I mean, they're really not adding value to me. They're not doing anything really. But, I just think that for people in general, we just really, really need to, just figure out who we are for ourselves. And we just need to walk in that truth. We need to walk mightily in that truth and stop being influenced by every, societal pressure or trend or style or magazine. I mean, it's just crazy. Somebody goes out, celebrity goes out, and they draw something on their eyebrows, and next thing you know, everybody else trying to draw something on their eyebrows. Celebrity does XYZ, or a magazine says this is the next trend, and then what do? Oh, well, this is out, and now this is in. It's like they're just shifting us to and fro, and it's crazy. It just doesn't make any sense.
I've never been a follower, so I don't understand why people let themselves be used like that. But that's, like you say, to each his own. That's the society we live in. So now I have to ask.
Yes.
Now you're a lot older. Well, not a lot older, but. No.
Oh my gosh, are you calling me old?
You're more mature now. You're more wiser now.
I'm wiser.
So now, did you feel exactly that same way when you first got married to your husband? You felt the exact same way, or you're a little different? Okay.
Oh, I'm a lot different. I am totally, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm totally different. When I was married, and even before him, I will admit I was kind of shallow in a lot of ways. I was very immature, very insecure, and I needed validation. And I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't know, just something, I guess, just that was just self-induced. But no, now I am very, very different. And I will say that that's thanks to not only my upbringing, because, they say train up a child in the way that he or she should go. And when they're older, they don't depart from it. So, even though I was wayward for quite some time, that very good, that very great foundation and solid foundation helped me. It helped me to get back on track and just be the woman that I am today, period. But yes, I am very different. And I think at 47, because going into the NFL, we were probably like mid 20s, mid to late 20s. So I would hope that I would be different and would have evolved, because if not, that means, I'm not growing. And it is one of my missions that I sow and I glow and I grow. And, that's a goal for me. So no, I am not the same person. My ex will tell you that too. I am not the same person. Yay. Everybody's, hands up on that. Cause I was a hot mess.
Now, you said you're a little shallow. Elaborate on that. That like, you talking about with men, you talking about like you only like men with money, or the handsome guys, or, elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Oh, look at you trying to get me in trouble. Okay, Roosevelt.
Talk to me.
When I say that I was shallow, that means, okay. That means yes. I might have not looked at a guy if he didn't drive a nice car at that particular time. I was shallow in a lot of ways. I thought, labels, I had to have the greatest, what was it back then? Tommy Hilfiger and Polo and Jordache and whatever else. I don't know. But at any rate, I felt like if I didn't step out with those things, Sebagos and all of that, that I was not, I wasn't worthy, or I didn't have value. But as far as the guys are concerned, come on, me and my girls, we did look for a certain type of guy when we'd be in the parks, or we'd be, out and the what do they call them, the hoopties couldn't get our attention. But if he drove, a Honda or one of them trucks, like back in the day, I think that most guys had those pickup. I don't know, I can't remember, but at any rate, yes, I was very shallow, and I'm just being honest, but hey, thank God for growth. That's all I can say, right? Thank God for growth. Cause right now, it wouldn't matter to me what kind of car he drove, as long as he is respectful, He's honest. He loves God. He can lead me based on biblical and scriptural truths. And once upon a time, I wouldn't have said that now, but knowing what I know now, oh no, you better not try to step to me if you don't have no word in you. No, that's not happen.
You're a Christian, so that's good to know. And that's one of my requirements as well. You have to be a Christian. You both have to believe because, because you can't.
Yeah, you gotta believe. That's right.
I actually did an episode on that. You can't do one and the other person not being, because it's going to eventually. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. That's right. Doesn't work. Unequally yoked. I mean, it is what it is. Now, here's what I will say. And it's funny because I mentioned this to a group of young ladies that I had the pleasure to speak with. I said there's three, to me, my opinion, my perspective, there's 3 levels to dating. Okay. There is first the encourage, then there's the equal, and then there's the elevate. So to me, the encourage means one may be lopsided. You may be making a lot of money and maybe he's not, or maybe he's making a lot of money and you're not. So y'all are encouraging each other so that y'all can build together. Like he made the table, so you bring it to the table, or maybe you made the table and he's bringing it to the table. Then there's the equal. Y'all are both equal. And so you're bringing 100%, his ideas and values and beliefs and his strengths and weaknesses and all of that, and it's equal. And then there's the elevate, where you may date a little bit above yourself because you want somebody that you can look to that will help you to grow, that will help you to stretch, and will help you to be your best self. So that's encourage. I'm dating because I think we can encourage each other. I'm dating because we equal, or I'm dating because of elevation. That's just the way I see it.
I gotta use that.
That's right.
Now, I was going to ask you a question. Like a lot of women see these wives who are married to the basketball players and the football players, and they just think their life is so wonderful, and it could be. I was going to ask you, is that life really glamorous? But I'm not going to ask that because that's for you. It might have been glamorous. For you, it might have not have been. But other women, the same thing. So it's different answers. So what I'm going to ask, instead of asking that, because I think this is a little bit more closer to what I want to, the answer that I want to get now. No.
Don't be afraid. Quit calling and ask.
Okay, now I know that sometimes the life of an athlete can be very stressful. As far as a lot of things. A lot of athletes go through a lot of stuff. That we don't see, or we see them is on when they're shooting a shot every night or every Sunday. But we don't see what they're going through to get to that point. So a lot of times they have a lot of stress that they're dealing with. And as a result, sometimes the family could be an unhealthy outlet or abusive outlet. So with that being said, were there ever any abuse in your marriage, mental or physical?
Okay, so there was definitely mental and emotional. But let me say this. So let me clear this up real quick, because I know there's some gasps and and all this, and there's going to be some, what do you call it? Like people are going to spin what I say anyway. I've learned that in this walk of mine that, whatever I say, I'm like getting backlash from time to time, and it's okay. But, most of the mental and emotional abuse I brought on myself, meaning I was thinking less than already of myself. So even though I'm in this world surrounded by superficial, let's just put it out there, because a lot of what we see, a lot of people is not real, or, they've enhanced themselves quite a bit. So I'm here trying to measure up to a standard where, it just wasn't attainable in my opinion, in my eyes. From the standpoint of whether or not my ex emotionally or mentally abused me, I can't really say that he did. I just think that he enjoyed me being where I was because he felt secure in that I would not leave. Right. Because what else was I going to do? Right. Because I think sometimes, people, when they're in a situation where they're making the money, they're calling all the shots, they are, they want you to stay in a particular position. They don't want you to, they want you to be dependent on them. They don't want you to get too free or too independent. So I think if I had to say anything as far as that emotional or mental abuse with my ex at that particular time, that would have been his downfall. Like, I really think that he wanted me to stay where I was because, that to him, it kind of kept me humble and it kept me, there. Like if I thought that I couldn't move or breathe or, whatever without him, what was I going to do? Stay. So, mentally and emotionally, I mean, like, he didn't like call me out of my name or, say you no good or this or that. I mean, when we had heated arguments, he would say dumb stuff just like I would, but as far as physical abuse, no, that's never been the case. I mean, if anything, I think I was more the spitfire throwing VCRs out windows and stuff. Yeah, I know. Y'all wasn't expecting that one, was it? Because there's so many women involved and there's so many elements and, you just kind of like all over the place with how to be, how to behave, how to act. And, then there's certain things where, again, the fans and the groupies can be very, very aggressive. And when you feel disrespected, you kind of act out from time to time. So, but no, there was no physical abuse, no domestic violence or anything like that between me and my ex. I mean, we both talked junk from time to time. We did a lot of that, but I mean, we were in our 20s. So, we didn't understand what we do now as far as edification, uplifting, and how to have a disagreement without all of the name calling or demeaning, diminishing one another. We didn't understand that, but I guarantee you, in my next relationship, that's how I'm gonna roll. But then that comes with that growth and that wisdom,
He was happy because you had a low self-esteem and he wasn't going anywhere, basically. So he was okay with it.
That is my assessment. Now, we would have to get him on the line and ask him for sure. But let me just say this. That was my assessment. I think and I don't think that he purposefully was trying to keep me under his thumb. I just think that some men, nobody send me no messages about that. I think that some people that are in positions of power, male or female, I think from time to time, whoever their significant only is or other is, I think that they want to keep them kind of dependent on them. Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
He was a pro athlete, so let's be honest. They have a lot of women coming at him. A lot of.
Yeah. Well, he had a lot of women coming at him from high school and college, so that wasn't nothing new. Well, he was a standout, and come on now, Sylvester. I mean, Roosevelt. Come on now. Let's just say what it is. You know how that is when you're a successful man, and whether you're a jock or you're a radio personality, you're a celebrity, you're a CEO. Come on, come on. Don't be trying to get sly with me.
There's a lot of women, and I know that, but now. A disclaimer, I wouldn't never do anything like that. But,
don't put out a disclaimer. Say what it is. Was there other women?
Because I know, a lot of women coming at him. He's a professional athlete. They see money. They see, things that he can do for them. And, of course, he was I don't look at a man like that, but he's a handsome guy, So were there other exterior women that you had to deal with that you know of?
Well, let me say this from standpoint from the standpoint of did I know like he had a mistress or, you know, another family on the side? No, I don't know any of that to be true. I only know of some folks that, you know, some women that would send me, that would call or send messages or try to make themselves known through, you know, other pigeon carriers. That's what we gonna call them. They pigeon carriers, you know, they just want to carry bad negative news and stuff about your man. But you know, but yes, there definitely were, you know, there were other women. That's for sure. Did I ever catch him? I never caught him. I never caught him. No, never caught him.
You gotta give me his number so I can get.
He was really good. I know, right? He need to write a book on how good he was.
You know, that's, I think every, I know some people that are married athletes, so, you know, and that's something they deal with, you know, and, so that's not, anything new.
Yes.
And, so.
No, that's just an added weight. I mean, we deal with a lot, just like they deal with a lot. You know, from what I've gathered now, being in my mature self, just like I was, you know, in a position to where I had to watch it or, you know, kind of be intertwined with it, it was actually coming at him. So I can only imagine the weight of how he felt with, you know, the different temptation and whatnot. I'm not saying it was right. Let me just be very clear. But I do know that that's a lot. You know, I think about my walk, my day-to-day walk, and just all the different things that I have coming at me where I can turn left, I can turn right, I can make a bad choice, I can, you know, just kind of, you know, make myself not in a good light there. So I can imagine what he went through. And also at this point in our lives, I respect what he went through as well, because he was a very good provider. Our family never hurt, never wanted for anything other than, which is a big thing now, you know, more attention, more focus on the family. But, you know, you understand they're gone a lot. They're, you know, doing different things that are required of them at that particular time. So
now,
yeah,
the marriage ended, unfortunately. How long were you two married?
We were married 6 years. We dated at a standpoint. You know, I just realized that lifestyle at that particular time, it was needed for me to be able to be on your show right now at this particular time and all the other shows that I've been on to talk about the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. That's one of the reasons why I took that journey. That and the fact that, you know, my ex and I, we were, you know, I guess in love and thinking that we were going to make forever as far as, you know, with our relationship. But now, knowing what I know now in this body, in this mind, in this spirit, you know, I have a different set of standards and expectations. And I just want, you know, I just want to be happy. Like, I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to have peace. And I just want an amazing dash, you know, in between my life being born and my already assessed death time. I want an amazing dash that leaves people to know that I motivated, I celebrated, I illuminated, and I liberated them. I liberated them through my words, work, and wisdom, and just helping them with my testimony. That's my goal, and that's that is all right. What is being on top to me.
Now, for the record, that's not my top. I don't believe in material. But, you know, I'm just speaking from someone, you know, on the outside. They always think because you got a lot of money that you automatically are happy, you know, and so.
That's right. Well, and if that's the case, you know, like I've said before, why are there like millionaires, gazillionaires that are committing suicide? They have it all, right? I mean, they got the finest of the finest, the AP watches, they got the Bentleys, the Rolls Royces. I mean, they have everything. You know, so why are they committing suicide? If that's the case, if on top is materialistic, monetary, and, you know, status and societal trends, then hey, they should be the happiest people on
if
earth,
that
right?
was the
They
case,
should be
they would
happy,
not
happy,
be
joy,
committing
joy.
suicide. So you're right. Yeah. So now, speaking after the marriage, you got a
Yeah.
job, and you hold things down at the house. But I know you
Okay.
are you're a woman, and then you were even younger. Well,
Oh, you keep calling me old. You keep calling me old,
I'm
Roosevelt.
not
We're gonna
calling
have a
you.
conversation when we go offline
You're
there, sir.
still, so you're a woman. So tell me about the dating. After you got divorced, how long did you wait until you start dating again?
Oh my gosh. Let me say this. Dating has been very challenging. Initially, what happens? Okay, well, what happened with me? I was still somewhat in that circle. So I was introduced to this guy that actually played for the Globetrotters. He played for the Globetrotters about 9 years. So, some still in the celebrity lifestyle somewhat, or fame or whatnot, because he was actually a key player, and a PR person for them. So we dated for quite some time, but unfortunately, because I was so immature and so juvenile in my thinking, I just attribute it to having children early and trying to raise them, and while trying to raise myself. I just wasn't ready for a relationship at that time. So I dated him. And then there were a couple others that I interacted with, but for the most part, around here in Augusta, I haven't really had a whole lot of guys to, try to date me. And I think it's this stigma with the whole NFL thing because, I am labeled that I'm high maintenance and that I'm a gold digger. So, I think that kind of goes with the territory because I've had a couple of guys where we've gone out and then their friends or friends of friends or whomever, like I said, about them pigeons that bring you news and stuff. They'll say, well, she used to be married to so and so or such and such. And then there's this I think there's this intimidation factor, or there's this, perception of me that's not real, because for me, I want what every other female or every other person, I would think and hope, aspires to get and be, and that's love, to be respected, to be, in a committed relationship. And it just, I don't know, dating has been very different for me. Even when I think that there's this person for me, it's like, okay. And partially, I will say I am a handful. I'm a mess. So, okay. So I think because of, past experiences and past, just baggage that frame you, you kind of carry it over, whether it's those little tendencies to the minute that person that I'm interacting with, they do something that was like Mr. Shady before them. I'm like, let me delete you, because that means you probably just like so and so. So so in the past, I have deleted them rather quickly, and I've, gone about my bit. I have. It's bad. It's horrible. It is. But I will say that now, with this mindset that I have, and this spirit and this body, I'm ready for, I'm ready for more, and I'm ready to kind of, give a lot more, compromise a lot more, and, just all the things that a relationship and partnership, all of those things that are worthy, of a good relationship. I'm ready for that now. I haven't always been, that way, because I've had different circumstances and different events in my life, whether it's dealing with the player, and then at one time I became the player. I mean, let's just be real. I'm just gonna put it out there. So you live. No, don't go back over that one. You trying to get me in trouble. You trying to get me in trouble.
Clean. Did you say you had a lot of suitors?
Come on, Roosevelt.
Or were you just just dating for fun, or you know?
Well, no, I think there was a period where I was dating for fun. Then there was a period where it was a dry spell where I think there was like intimidation factor. Nobody, wanted to talk to me or approach me. Then I was, dating with a purpose, or so I thought. But I just wasn't mature enough. I still needed some work, and I needed to define Angela. And so now that I've done that, I'm in a better mindset and a better frame of mind, and it's just different, dating.
Actually,
Yeah.
you really do want to get married again.
Of course I do. Now, if you had asked me that when I first got a divorce, I was like, nope, one and done. That's it. But yes, it is my goal. I don't care if I'm 80. I will walk down that aisle. especially for the right person, with the right dynamics and commitment. I would, yeah, absolutely, I would. But you gotta bring it though. I mean, you gotta really have some substance to yourself. You gotta really just be able to lead. I mean, to the next plateau. So with that being said, I want someone who is going to just be so engaged in my purpose that, or we're going to be engaged in each other's purpose, put it that way. And then also from the standpoint of him being very, very worded, meaning, he has to be able to lead with the scripture. Like, you got to believe, and you got to believe really, really big, in a big way, in order to be the head of our household. I believe I've leaned to my own understanding for so long, and I perceive this, and this is my perspective, and this is it. But I want to be able to have some common ground so that the relationship will be solid and it will really work. Like, I'm not interested. I got guy friends. So I'm not interested in someone who just wants to be a homie friend, hang out every now and then, and then he trying to be all slick. And I'm not interested in that. In this leg of my life, I'm 47. I'll be 48. I've already lived that lifestyle. I've lived that life. I've been about that life before. The second half is just all, it's going to be about growth. It's going to be about evolution, and it's going to be about just being in service. And I want that. Like, I want him to be in service to me, and I want to be in service to him, just to help him to be his best,
great.
and for him to help me be my best. That's what it's all about.
I used to live in Atlanta, and Augusta's kind of I'm not gonna say nothing bad about it, but it's Augusta doesn't just say it's special.
Right, don't you talk about Augusta now. I will agree with you on that. It is very special.
It don't surprise me that you're not dating or finding it difficult to date someone there, because first of all, it's not many to choose from. I mean, no, let's be honest. I mean, not because of that.
To choose from, Okay, let me say this. No, wait a minute. There are some great guys here. I know them. I know of them, and I know some great guys. It's just that the majority of them, they are taken. They're already in really, good, solid relationships. And then the ones that's not, I just think it's all about environment. I think it's about environment. So yeah, I don't think that it's just that. Like a lot of women, we do say that there's no good men out there. Well, maybe we need to be looking a little bit more inner then, if that's the case. Because I was one, I said it too, and then I was introduced to some really, really great guys, and that dispelled that myth that I would go around and say, because it just made me feel better about myself. But once I started turning the mirror on myself and putting work into myself, I started attracting a different level, different type of guy. I mean, most of them are still not, I don't know if it's marriage material. I'm not really sure. Well, and then, I think societal standards have changed and we are so relaxed and so lax and, you're not required on either hand, female or male, to do certain things. And so I think that kind of gets in the way of dating and, who you're with. But yeah, I know some great guys. Matter of fact, I know one in particular right now that he's a great guy. We interact and chat from time to time. But hey, you just gotta you funny. You gotta kind of let it run its course, and you just you see where it goes, and sometimes it's for you and then other times it's not. So you just got to be willing to understand when it's not, because
As an NFL wife, this helped you create your organization called Lead. Tell me about Lead. What is that about?
okay, really quickly, Lead is for my youth ages 6 to 17, and it's listen, education, ambition, and determination. Really, the only reason why I created Lead was because I've had so many people, adults, that would ask me about speaking to children. And so I figured, well, they don't want me to get up and talk about the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. So when I was a child, I knew, and I had so many influential educators and leaders in my life that, that spoke and planted seeds into my life. And so that's how I came up with the Lead program, which I do, with after schoolers, middle schoolers. I've done it for career days. So, it's just my way of giving back, because I truly believe that giving back is a priority, is not optional. And so I just, am happy that I'm able to, whether it's stand before adults or children, and positively impact a life, just like mine was. Even though from time to time I was a little spastic and a little, I got a little crazy, as if I didn't have no home training, but I did. But I did. So the Lead program is just, I talk to them about what it is to be a leader. I talk to them about valuing education. I talk to them about having ambition, just knowing, and even though they're young at that age, but still, some of them, they know I want to be a gymnast, or I want to be a this or that. And it's just about at least putting something out there into the universe about what you want, and then determination, never giving up. So I get an opportunity to talk to them about that. I get an opportunity to talk to them about bullying, anti-bullying, and just kind of interact with them. We have fun. And actually, I love that part of it more so than I do with the adults, because being with children, most of the times they're not as critical and judgmental when you're in their presence. Like, I walk into a room full of women or, different organizations that are adults, they're looking at you up and down, trying to see what you're wearing and all that, which really, they shouldn't even be concerned about that. They should be concerned about what's coming out of my mouth. But, they're picking you apart and scrutinizing you, whether I got a hair out of place or, my nails are chipped or whatever. But children don't care. That's what I found. They don't. I mean, they're hugs, they're loving. They're like absorbing, they're soaking up everything that, that you say. So that's right. Well, and see, the Lead program is not just for young youth that are females. It's anybody. So I do it for males and females, and they do. Yeah, they both, they get a kick out of it, because I've led a life where, even though I'm the story and life of an ex-NFL wife, and I am a female, so obviously females would gravitate, or they would, they understand me more. I still, I've gone through a lot. I've done a lot in my old age, since you called me old like 3 times. I've done a lot. And so, yeah, just being able to, just be out front and talk about my life, whether it's to males or females. Trust me, you're going to get something from my words. That is my goal. One of my mottos is I speak to improve, to impact, and to inspire, not to impress.
You've written 2 books, right?
So I wrote 2 books and wrote and published 2 books. And then I am a featured author in a 3rd book, which actually has made me a bestseller, because that book is a bestseller. It's called Women Who Lead Anthology. by the fabulous Dr. Sharon Porter. Out of Maryland and DC area. But my first book is a poetry book compilation. For those of you poetry heads out there that like poetry, is not for the faint of heart. Now it talks about every subject under the sun. I mean, everything that I went through from here to there, I penned about in that particular book, and it's Lust, Lessons, Love, and Life. And then there's, of course, now my autobiography, which is one that has kind of taken the globe by storm, and you know, a lot of people are requesting for me to speak. Matter of fact, I'll be speaking at the Essence Festival at an empowerment experience there in July, alongside R. Kelly's ex-wife and some other amazing women that will be telling their story, their truth, their life. You know, hopefully it won't get all ratchet or all messy, because that's not how I tell my stories, and that's not my purpose for my journey with the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. But so I just being able to have this platform has afforded me an opportunity to be able to talk more about that book, which is the story is reality to rags to riches, the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked and excited. I'm working on a fourth book and kind of dabbling on a fifth one. From a long-term perspective, what I would like is a nonprofit organization at some point when I can, be a factor in it. I would like for, to set up a place, a community center where children can go in and they can read books and they can write their own stories. That would be fabulous for me, because not everyone, is set out, I think, to be a fireman or a police officer or educator or whatever. You're going to have some authors in there, in career days. You're going to have some motivational speakers. You're going to have some entrepreneurs. So I think being able to have a community center or just a place for them to be creative, that would be awesome for me. And so, on my vision board, on down the road, that's one of the things that I will be looking at, because I do believe that readers are leaders.
Stuff that you have going on.
Okay, so my website is www.inotherwordsbystone.com. Right. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug for my fabulous son that actually designed the website for me, a wonderful website content builder. So www.inotherwordsbystone.com is my website. You can send me messages for requests for me to come and speak. I will travel. There is a fee now. I don't think it's going to all be free, but there is a fee from time to time. It just depends on the radius and the dynamics of what you need. I'm willing to work with any organization, but you can reach out to me. I am a ghostwriter. I also help people with their resumes, bios, essays. I can do electronic press kits, media press kits, anything dealing with words, documents. I'm your girl. I can definitely take care of it. So you can also, there's a store tab on my website. Will take you directly to my books where you can download them. Or if you just send me an email, I have some in stock. I will sign it, get that autograph one, and get it out there to you, because it's gonna be worth a lot of money one day. So y'all better get in on the ground floor. It's everything. If you download it, of course, it's Kindle, iBooks. What's the other one? There's another. Anyway, my publisher did it all. She did it all. Oh, and let me say this really quickly. Y'all follow me on social media too. I'm on every social media outlet from Facebook to IG. I'm not as active on Twitter as I should be. And I know my mentor is probably going to watch this and say, yes, I told you to get active on Twitter. I'm active on LinkedIn. That's how you and I met. Thank you again for, the opportunity and consideration to be on your show. But I'm actually active on all of those social media outlets, because, I love people. I love interacting with people, and I want to make a difference. I actually want to live up to another one of my mottos, which I say, I am my sister's connection, not competition. So any way that I can connect and be in service or be of service to someone, y'all just either send me an email, go to my website or whatever, look me up, Angela Marshall,
Sounds
Augusta,
great.
Georgia. You
Good.
can Google
And I
me.
want to say, if you ever come to Miami,
And send me
I
a
will
message, and we
definitely,
can figure out how we can
I
collaborate
don't
and
do
connect.
this for everybody. Yeah, I want you to know this. I don't do this for everybody. Yeah, you're very special. So I want to take you somewhere, and the chicken wings are on me.
Oh, special. Wait a minute.
Well, you know,
Why we got to have chicken wings? Why I can't have no shrimp or nothing like that? What's up with that? I ain't no cheap date. I'm just, you know what, Rosa? I'm messing with you because I'm allergic to shellfish anyway, so I can't even eat that stuff. But yes, well,
that
thank
sounds
you. I
great.
will
Don't forget
definitely
the
make
little people
sure that
on the way to
when
the
I
top.
head that way to start
All
promoting,
right.
you will be the first person that I
All
look
right.
up.
Thank you for talking with me, and I'm going to stick all of this on my
Never,
website as well, for my listeners to
never, never,
find your
never.
books and your website, and so they can reach out to you. So there'll be a link as soon as this episode airs. There'll also be a link as well, so it'll be in two places. I hope you can sell some of those books and become a better and bigger and more popular and more powerful writer and that you are. I've read a few pages, and I can always tell when someone is definitely have a good future in front of them. I think you are definitely one of those people. You have a very good talent for writing. It's very a good read, from what I see so far. So I want to tell all my listeners, you have to get her books. They're very good. And I really enjoyed having a chat with entrepreneur, writer, and motivational speaker, Angela Marshall. And I thank you for joining me for my show. And yeah, and I definitely, we have to do this again sometime when you write that fourth book. How about that?
Thank you. The pleasure was definitely all mine. I appreciate y'all.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.